It was an anti-terror mock drill in Surat. It's gone all wrong. It sparked off a huge controversy with the opposition taking the government head on. This was an exercise. On your screen is a dummy terrorist, but he's spotted, and not one, two, spotted donning skull caps during this mock drill to catch terrorists. And there's outrage over this act of the Surat police. The Congress parties, other political parties are slamming the BJP government in the state. They claim that this gesture reeks of symbolism. Many of this calling it stereotyping of a particular community. The Surat police have refused to express remorse, though they do claim this was avoidable. Let's try and make sense of this. Joining me now on the broadcast is former Super Cop Dr. Kiran Bedi. Also with me is Kamal Farooqi, a member of the All India Muslim Personal Law Board. And Kamal Farooqi, I want to come to you first. What do you make of the Surat police getting these terrorists to wear skull caps? They say this is regrettable, wasn't done on purpose. Would you accept it?
No, it is not acceptable, because this is not for the first time this is happening. In fact, this has earlier happened in Delhi also, wherein the scarf which normally the Muslims wear, they were bought in huge quantity. I do not know why the police bought it, but the intention was very clear. Like in Gujarat also, this is the same skull which Mr. Modi refused to put on his head during the before the election, in fact, because it symbolized with the Muslims. Now, if the police authorities, if they are doing this, this is very unfortunate. This is the mindset, in fact, wherein the one particular religion is being demonized by like this.
Okay.
Unfortunately, as far as the terrorism is concerned, terrorism has got no religion. But you see, the earlier, the Sangh Parivar used to say that all the Muslims are not terrorists, but all the terrorists are Muslims. This was the mindset, in fact, which has been going on for quite a long time.
Stay with me for a moment and let me pose that question to Kiran Bedi. Kiran Bedi, is the police or are the intelligence agencies and the police stereotyping a particular minority community, ma'am?
I don't think that's the intention at all. And that's the effort. That was not the... I don't think so. I'm only guessing. Why should they call for trouble? I think it's a mistake. It's a mistake they made, and I saw the Deputy Commissioner of Police Surat regretting it, saying it was not the intention, it's a mistake and an error which needs to be corrected. So I think all they needed to do was certainly continue with these kind of drills, but don't make it community neutral. They need not have any caps. In fact, they should have put a hood. They should have put a hood. Why even show any face?
The point.
Just put a hood. It would not show any. I think that I believe it's an honest mistake.
Okay, you say it's an honest mistake, but that's exactly the point that Kamal Farooqi raises, that this isn't the first time something like this has happened. He raises the question of the Delhi police post Batla House, when some suspected terrorists were detained. They were brought before the media. They were made to wear a particular red and white check scarf. And as Kamal Farooqi alleges, they've been bought in large numbers by the Delhi police, Kiran Bedi.
Gaurav, I still don't believe that these are deliberate. These are omissions. These are mistakes committed by individuals. But that's not a departmental policy. That's not department. Because after all, police is for harmony. Police is and strives for harmony. And any disharmony or breach of peace costs them heavily. So why would they provoke it? Indian police is not known to be communal. We may have our own biases and prejudices, but to the best of my knowledge, that's not what is promoted. That's not propagated. What is taught is harmony. What is taught is treating everybody equal. And I think these are individual acts. And I would request and urge these should not be generalized, because that's the only... Policing is the last and the first resort in this country to continue to keep the country united.
And is that then collapsing, as Kamal Farooqi alleges? Because Kamal Farooqi, the superintendent of police in Surat, said, I'm sorry, but this wasn't our call. This was an overzealous actor. The actor wore a skull cap. The police did not ask him to do so. Would you buy that, Kamal Farooqi?
No, absolutely not. And I have got great respect for Kiranji, in fact. But having full respect for the police force also. But this is the mindset, madam, which you please understand. But even the statement which the police officers have made over there, they have the reverse. They are taking it as if it's a very lightly kind of thing. And as I said, you did not respond to what actually I said earlier. The mindset which was spread over in the country, in fact, that anybody who is involved into the terrorist activity, immediately it was said that it's a Muslim, in fact. This mindset was spread like anything, and we are the one who have been calling it that terrorism absolutely has got no religion. I agree with you. Police personnel cannot afford to do this. If this is being done not once, you did not say anything because you belong to Delhi police. Why Delhi police bought at that large number the scarf which were put in after the Patla encounter, in fact? So that shows that they have got a mindset. Why couldn't they put some tilak on the person, in fact, who was doing it?
In fact, it wasn't just restricted, Kamal Farooqi, as you very rightly point out. Kamal Farooqi, as you very rightly point out, it's not restricted either to the Surat police or the Delhi police. Kiran Bedi, Dr. Bedi, I want to bring in the Nagpur police. The Nagpur police had a similar mock drill at the airport, and there again, the alleged terrorist or the mock terrorist in that drill was wearing a skull cap. So is this the mindset of the police force of India? And does it stem from the fact that the intelligence agencies give a certain kind of input where the stereotyping starts, Kiran Bedi?
Gaurav, I still want to continue to say without that these are still isolated cases. And in fact, if we interpret it wrongly, interpret it differently, let's say, you have a right to your opinion, Mr. Farooqi has a right to his opinion, but if we continue to interpret and rub it this way, then probably we're spreading it. We are making it believable. I would urge, in fact, if we argue it that way, we will be probably making it more entrenched. We should consider these as isolated acts and I think take to task people who try and stereotype this. These are isolated incidents, because in all police training, in all police briefings, in all police leadership, it's harmony, it's communal harmony and not communal disharmony, and not stereotyping. But unfortunately, I think so. This is how I would like to.
So where does this aberration come in, Kamal Farooqi? If you look at it as an aberration, because if in training Kamal Farooqi, hear me out. If in training Kamal Farooqi, the police are taught communal harmony, but whether it is Delhi or Surat or Nagpur or a case of Maharashtra that I'll talk about in just a moment, the police give out these, it's either a skull cap or similar names that come out in mock drills, or there was a Pakistan Zindabad in another mock drill that happened. So Kamal Farooqi, where is the problem?
The problem is, my own family members have got some in the good police officers. Her colleagues, in fact, happen to be one of my relations also. I have great respect. But ma'am, can I ask you one question? Muslims are only 12.5 to 13%. Why this mock drill always coming up like this only? Don't you think that there is some serious problem? Why this chance is coming only to this minority? Why not to the others? And why at all any particular religion should be demonized like this? Don't you think that there is some serious problem in the thinking? Why couldn't we take it as a top authority? Why couldn't the police, the commissioners and the home minister should make it an absolute point? Under no circumstances, Muslims will be shown like this. Don't you think that I, as a Muslim, am feeling ashamed?
Fair point. Fair point. Kiran Bedi, would you like to respond to what Kamal Farooqi is saying?
I can totally understand Mr. Farooqi's anger. If I were in his place, probably I would feel it the same way. And so do I. Even if I'm not in his place as a Muslim, but as a non-Muslim, also I would feel it the same way. Why should we stereotype any? Because Indian policing is supposed to be overseeing for all. It belongs to all. It is not to be stereotyping, and I think that's the challenging task which the police leadership must perform, and continue to reiterate that isolated acts like these will not be tolerated, so that we don't even have separate individual cases also, which unnecessarily again may stereotype the entire department. I think we should not stereotype either, neither the department nor the particular community.
Kiran Bedi,
I think that's the challenge of training and briefing.
Okay, you insist that these are isolated incidents, whether there is a case in Surat, in Ahmedabad, in Delhi, in Nagpur, in Mumbai. Statistically speaking, and purely going by statistics in the anti-terror offensive, what do statistics indicate?
Well, I wish you had the National Crime Records Bureau. I've run a prison too. I've run a prison, and I think the NCRB records would probably swing in saying, if you look at statistics, strictly statistics, not biases or prejudices, there's no place for that for me. I think statistically it goes for a particular community. Unfortunately, I don't want to mention any community, but it does. Whether it's the statistics concerning people involved in terrorism does go disproportionately against a particular community. I think that's a matter of concern and worry. Why should it be? Why should it be overwhelmingly concerning a particular community? I'm not mentioning the community. I hope I'm wrong, but that's not the way I saw in the prison. And that's not what the NCRB records would indicate. And why only India? Yes. I think globally that would be the trend, unfortunately. And that is why, if you notice, when it comes to screening in the aircraft, screening at the visa sections, this unfortunately is happening even there. And that's why there's been an even outcry there. But is that an isolated case even overseas, or is it stereotyping again? That's been the outcry. Unfortunately, this is a state of mind which we've arrived at, whether in India or overseas. And we've got to beat it. We've got to undo it. We've got to take all possible steps all over to undo this.
This needs to be undone, because Kamal Farooqi, I want to draw your attention to a Mumbai police circular of the year 2013, with a special branch circular that we managed to dig out, which says, keep an eye on girls of the Islamic organization, which is the female wing of the Jamaat, because they motivate girls to live in accordance with the Holy Quran. So is there a mindset issue, Kamal Farooqi? That's point one. And point two, if Dr. Kiran Bedi talks about statistics pointing to one part of the picture, is perhaps better education and outreach required, Kamal Farooqi?
No, again, with respect to her, in fact, she's telling about the data and whatnot. There was a time when, in fact, when any sick person who was traveling along with us in the aircraft or the train, but immediately everybody used to see towards that poor man as a suspicious terrorist.
Yes.
The fact of the matter was, these things are being built up by certain agencies, in fact, in such a fashion that one particular community should be demonized. And if you are talking about the statistic, madam, it is not at the point of the time of the arrest which the people have to be taken up. Please see the record, how the whole thing is coming up. The people who have been arrested under the serious charges, ultimately they have been, after 14 years, it was proved that that particular gentleman, Amir I am referring particularly, and this is not one Amir, I can refer you 10 Amir like this, who was being arrested at the age of 18 by Delhi police, and after 14 years, it was said that absolutely it was a cooked up case by the police. What do you say about all those kind of things? So there are issues on both the sides, but you cannot, as a police officer, under no circumstances, you have got any right or authority to demonize any particular community, which you appreciated in the beginning itself.
Okay. Dr. Bedi, is it time then, because you've had these incidents in Surat, you've had these incidents in Ahmedabad, in Nagpur, in Mumbai, in Delhi, and these are cases that became public. There could have been other cases that are not public. There's been a case in Hyderabad where a suspected terrorist was made to wear a skull cap when he was taken, in front of the media. Is it time then for the Home Ministry, though law and order is a state subject, but is it time for the Home Ministry to issue clear-cut directives to all state police on what is to be done when a suspected terrorist is taken into custody?
Gaurav, this doesn't need a reiteration. This has to be a part of policing, part of conduct, part of your conscientious duty. It doesn't need a reiteration. For every little thing, you can't be how do you sit and how do you stand. I think it's a part of your performance of duties to only enforce the law and not be biased, but to be fair to all. Police is for fairness for all, even towards an accused, to be fair, to give him a fair trial, and to be absolutely decent and give him the human rights required. So how much will the Home Ministry will continue to? It's a part of every policeman's conduct and behavior. All it really requires is, these are state leadership issues. Yes. Down to the constable, down to the head constable, down at the police station level, it calls for constant briefing, constant training, constant reiteration, constant reminder, yes. And even then individuals will make mistakes. What I have to say is, we should not if we keep blowing up the mistakes, then we are ourselves encouraging divisiveness. I think as elders, we should say this is a mistake. Whoever did it must be penalized and take all possible steps not to remind. I would look at it from this point of view, because I don't want this matter to become larger than this.
Okay, Dr. Kiran Bedi and Kamal Farooqi, for the moment, many thanks for joining me. That's a fair point you've made. The police don't just have to be impartial, they have to be seen to be impartial. And we will continue to track this story. And that's my assurance to Dr. Kamal Farooqi.